what's up. Yo, check me out. Is that any better? I think that's better. Um, Screw it. Let's just get to the talk back. Lang, thanks so much for bearing with me.
No problem, no problem.
Oh my god. Once more, you're watching Braving New Worlds with Courtney Love and Lang Chen. Lang Chen is an artist who I've met over at Trader Joe's and invited to my show. We're raising money for the Transgender Law Center. If you feel like donating money to us, put exclamation point pride in the chat. If you feel like buying Lang Chen's art, put exclamation point pride Lang in the chat. And then there you go. Lang, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
XL7
This
Gamer says,
chaos is
"Hi,
about.
mom." Oh, it's every morning. Piney, did you just wake up? Because same. This is great. Now you can hear me. Fart Gang is trending. What is this, amateur hour, Kurt? Yeah, it is, MJ. Thanks for being here. Wow, y'all are so sweet for coming. I love you so much, Fart Gang. Is that what you call your followers on Twitch?
It was, it was not a voluntary choice, but because my username is Fake Art Prodigy, they were like, F art. That's just how it is now. I can't do anything about it.
It's great. As long as the community owns it, then you know you made the right decision.
That's true.
Hmm.
True.
Um, so before we get into your creative genesis, if you will, I'd love to know a little bit about what's going on in your life right now. What are some of the things that you're working on?
Oh. I am currently in a big like transition period, I guess, because I
Okay.
just graduated like in May. So probably like a little less than a month ago.
Okay.
Um,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. But it's like already hard to find a job as an artist. Um, at least I think it is.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, there's a pandemic, and so like I don't know, it's just very difficult. But
Hmm.
I guess after graduating, I tried to focus more of my time streaming uh, and like improving my stream and figuring out a better schedule and all that stuff. That's what I've been focusing on the past month.
That's great. Yeah, because I think the next question I was going to ask you that's related to that, statement about, it's hard for an artist to find a job is what sort of ways did you find to create revenue from the things that you do?
Um, One big thing, I guess, that supported me through college was being a resident advisor. So not at all related to art or streaming or anything.
Hmm.
Um, but it was like it was a big part of my life for 2 years because the work that they ask us to do is very time consuming and they actually can't pay us an hourly wage
Right.
because if they did, we would be severely underpaid. Um, so we get paid like a semester stipend, and they're like, okay, that's enough. And you get housing, you get free housing, so it counts.
Right. Package deal.
So exactly, which is nice. Getting free housing is very nice. Um, but yeah, that was sort of like a big thing for me in
Hmm.
terms of like making money. Um, and then I'm fortunate enough to have my parents' financial support as well,
Hmm.
which I was and still am very grateful for. And so I don't like make that much revenue from like selling my art
Hmm.
because I feel like my art itself is very personal,
Okay.
which does not translate that well to like its marketability.
Wow. Yeah, no, that resonates a lot. Um, all of it, because I used to be an RA too. And I,
Oh
Yeah, I went to Sarah Lawrence College, and our package was good. You get half off housing, and you get a $2,500 stipend each semester, which was pretty good for living in upstate New York and
Hmm.
going to the most expensive college in the country. um,
Ooh.
but of course, it was like the job description. You'd have to do way more than that, 10 times more than what they like described to you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they didn't tell you that you had to be like this, event programmer.
Hmm.
You had to be a counselor, a straight up therapist for people. You had
Hmm.
to be a drug counselor. You had to be a class counselor, and a lot of people had their sexual awakenings, and I had to be a witness to that. MJ, thank you so much for
Yeah.
the donation. Appreciate that. $10 to the Transgender Law Center. Happy Pride Month. Um,
Yay.
yeah, but you also mentioned that you're going through the transitory period, and so yeah, of course you would have a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out, how to create revenue from your art itself. But you also introduced, Twitch streaming 2 years ago before you started graduating. So when did the Twitch stream come into play? Was it something to, was it just like I really wanted to play some games with some friends, and that's why you wanted to go on, or was it I wanted to do some art streams?
It was a combination of two main things. One was definitely like doing art streams. Because my first stream I think ever was just me painting my shoes. Um, but another big thing was that this is like a whole thing that I've been like thinking about for like several years. Where I think like a lot of fine artists, the way that they interact with their audience is that like if they have fans, they know their work, but they don't know the artist themselves. Or at least that's like how I've seen it. Like most
Hmm.
people will be like, "Oh yeah, I love this person's work," but like they don't know much about the person like
Right.
as a person. Like just the I guess the work that they produce. And so I was like I I'm not a huge fan of that sort of relationship. I think it's more interesting, I guess, to have a relationship, like a more personal relationship, I guess. And so I was
Hmm.
like, okay, how do I do that? I have to like get famous on some sort of social media. And that way, like, I have like a way to not only show my work, but also like my personality at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, oh my God, Graves and Noe don't know the work, just the artist. Oh my God.
That's so real. Put that on the t-shirt.
I'm trying my best to balance it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I so then my a couple of my friends suggested streaming to me, um, and because I was originally considering YouTube, but I was like, ooh, production value.
Right.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. But streaming is just like you click a button and then you just talk to people, and that felt a lot more comfortable to me.
Hmm. Of
So
course,
yeah, that's
you
how it
could
started.
also stream on YouTube too, but
Yeah.
when you get into curated content like that, that's when the big bucks happen. Uh,
Mhm.
I was following this content creator, and I'm watching him last night. His name is Lyle Forever, and he does this thing called Gek Therapy, where just as a gecko, and does like call-ins from people, just random people on the internet. And he was talking to one of his lawyer friends, and his lawyer is like a YouTube content creator and makes $6,000 from every month he creates like content for YouTube. And
Mhm.
of course, like he sends something to an editor because he has some incomes, or he can pay someone to actually make his stuff look good. But
Hmm.
the other content risk creator is just like, damn it, Twitch is Twitch has a monopoly on my creativity. He's just like, just log into my account, man. You can just do live on mine. We'll just like do some sort of like revenue share and stuff like that. So I don't know, getting into multi-streaming, if you could do it on the DL, try it. I just went on Instagram Live too, using this one other
Mm.
app, trying to test the waters and see if people are interested in gameplay and that like long sort of portrait view.
Yeah.
Um, it's gonna take some work, but I think I might be getting people into it. But that thing you were
Cool.
talking about, about like artists trying to create a little bit more of an authentic representation of themselves and not just like dropping content bombs, every single day.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people are trying to, break that wall as well, especially people who are struggling to send out their content or at least like send out merchandise.
Yeah.
Um, Another artist I interviewed almost a year ago. Her name is Uzumaki Cepeda, and she creates beautiful um, clothing as well as like art pieces and like home decor. And she's
Mm.
just like so angry at the fact that people are yelling at her about her prices and how fast things are going
Mm.
out. And she'd be like, "Do you guys realize I'm not Amazon? I'm not Target. I
Yeah.
don't have people
Yeah.
working for me. I'm one person. I'm making however many of these things exist and then sending them out to you. Give me
Yeah.
a fucking break." Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That is definitely an issue with being a small solo artist,
definitely.
independent artist who's trying to freelance.
Well, we know about the present. We know about what you're going through. It's a transitory period. Tell me about when you started to pursue art as something that was you're aspiring to be. You want to be the artist. When did you think you figured that out?
Uh, I think I tell this story a lot because I think it's very interesting. When I went to high school, I joined the Math and Science Academy. And so along with that came the assumption that I would go. So I went to school in tech. So the assumption was that we would go to UT Austin in some sort of engineering degree
Okay.
and then graduate, right? And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. And so I like did a bunch of like pre-AP and AP math and science classes. Um, and then one of my friends was like, you should take art because it was like this thing that I did very infrequently on the side, mostly doodles, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
almost like turned him down. I was like, why would I take art? I need to focus on math and science.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually I was like, okay, fine, because I need an elective anyway.
Right.
And I suck. Like looking back on my work in sophomore year, I was like, this is so bad. Um, and then from there, I started spending more and more time on art, and I don't know, maybe I was just a fast learner, but I got better. And then a part of our art classes like requirements was that we also participate in a statewide art competition every year.
Okay.
Um, and so then in junior year, I got one of my pieces to get essentially the highest honor, which was a gold seal. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, okay, fine. I'll like double major in chemical engineering and art, which is ridiculous because probably would have graduated in like 7 years because of how little overlap there is between the two. Um, but I just thought that I had to go into chemical engineering to have a stable
Mm.
career and then just do art like every time I got back from the lab or whatever, wherever
Mm-hmm.
I worked. Um, and then finally, it was actually my mom who was like, if you're gonna be an artist, you like need to like commit and like
Mm-hmm.
you need to find like the best art school in the country and go there
Hell
and just do
yeah.
it. Yeah, and I was like, wow, mom, because Asian parents, or I guess most parents of color don't often do that, especially if they're immigrants, which we are. So I was like, this is very unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
I expected her to be like, you should go into engineering. You're gonna make money. Um, so that was like the tipping point, and then I started looking for actual art schools. Um, and then uh, I found two. So one was Pratt Institute, which is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other is School of the Art Institute of Chicago. Very long name, which is in Chicago. And I applied to both, and I got nice scholarships. I visited both, and I was like, school? Which one do I go to? And then I ended up choosing one in Chicago. So
And now you're here. And we
yeah,
live in
I'm
Chicago.
here.
I was gonna say that my follow up question was going to be, are your parents immigrants? Because that's a very immigrant mentality. Of course, my
Yeah.
parents are immigrants, and that's why I say that. And I never really had those ideas of going to a trade school and doing something that would be, i.e., successful. My parents were always like, this kid is pretty weird. And he's probably gonna do some sort of like weird stuff in the future, so we better take him to some weird ass school. um, because I had a passion for filmmaking at a really young age. At first it started off with
Mm,
video games, and I kind of put that to the side when I realized that I need to focus all on like filmmaking and production. And my parents were like, "Yeah, let's put fuel to this fire. Let's take him to the best school for that. Let's try to give him all the
mhm.
equipment he needs." And it also led to me, because it was such a progressive school and we had so many people figuring themselves out, and I was also like an advisor to people figuring themselves out. I was like, okay, maybe I should
Yeah.
figure myself out. And part of that was like realizing that I was doing a lot to obtain this idea of success, but it was so ingrained in this idea of like whitewashing myself and not being true to like my culture, my identity, my sexuality, and even my gender expression. And so I realized, I needed to take a little bit more time to figure that out. And, maybe it was a little too late. Maybe it was towards the end of college. And, it led me into a deep depression. And, and of course, anybody who's in a deep depression goes straight into the service industry.
Yeah.
So I was doing that for a very long time. And then, you know, getting comfortable with myself at a finer point where I realized, you know what? I'm the kind of person that works at Trader Joe's.
I mean, people who work at Trader Joe's all seem so sweet. So,
We try our best.
seems like a
But
nice
of course, they pay us the good money and the health insurance to do that.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. It's what everybody deserves in the service industry.
All right, let's do a quick vibe check with the chat. Man, we got lots of friends here. Justin's here. Hi, Justin. How you doing? The origin story, untold tales. um,
Definitely not untold.
Pineapple Forever says 90% duck game, 10% shooting people, and 0% art. Is a good way to describe your stream.
Well, okay, for like the past week, we found this stupid game where there's 302 verbs that you can put before the word duck. Like it's programmed by this like artist, so it's not
Mm.
all the verbs in the world. But for each verb there comes out, like a little story. So like find the duck. It's like you found the duck. Look at you. Good job. And so we've been trying to find all 302 verbs, and it's just been so it's been horrible because my PC had restarted like 3 times, and so every time we did that, it would lose the progress.
No. Wait,
So
how much RAM does
yeah,
this game take?
I don't know, but it like doesn't save on cookies, so like it doesn't remember what words you've already done, and so now we have this whole Excel sheet that has every single verb
Oh, okay.
that
To
we
save your
know
progress.
works.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so
yeah,
it's a game you can
exactly.
play in your browser.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
can actually link it to you if you want.
Yeah, throw it in the
Try
chat.
it.
Try it. You'll like
Okay,
it.
yeah, yeah.
The things she has
Oh.
done to the duck are deplorable. Feels bad, man. Five head? I don't know what that means. Vibe check indeed. Um, oh, great. Oh, I think, yeah, it's on this website have a bunch of like different games you can play as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah. I
It's
think
it's it's the
this.
new mini clip. Have you ever played miniclip.com?
Ooh, I've not.
Oh, okay. I guess that you skipped that era. That was like the era of like flash animation on the internet and playing just like
Mm.
games with WASD and no mouse. But that was a really
Oh,
fun
yeah.
time. Mini clip. There we go. That's an OG reference right there for any like Newgrounds or like, yeah, just like in the heydays of the internet. um, so I would love to know. and I'd love to show a lot of people what we're looking at in terms of your art. But can you tell me a little bit in terms of inspiration for when you're creating your art? Maybe there's a project that you want to talk about specifically or anything like that.
Uh, Let's see. Let me start my own website. Figure something
Right.
out.
And people can see
Oh,
it on the
you're looking
stream
at
now.
my
Yeah.
website. Oh, cool, cool. A lot of my uh, work nowadays, first of all, media is usually print, is specifically like screen printing and no, I don't know, screen printing. And then before that, I did a lot of painting and drawing stuff. And then in terms of the actual content, uh, I draw a lot from my personal identity. As I mentioned before, my work is so like drawing from my own experiences, my trauma, my own culture, sort of all of those things. And uh, I usually start, I guess I'll describe my creative process. I think that's the best way to go, where
Mm-hmm.
I make uh wow, cool art. Are you an artist? Oh my God. Okay. I start with this, I guess, idea of like what uh specific aspect of either my identity or my um history, I guess, that I want to focus on. So, for example, uh struggling with depression. And then from there, I usually try to think of various symbols uh, uh, that sort of can represent the things that I struggle with. Uh, put it all in a composition, um, and then I don't know. I'm pretty like focused on like the pre-planning aspect in that I make sure everything is like perfectly planned out before I work on the final product.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I just make it. Like, I don't know. I just make it and then I'm done.
Did you take a printmaking class, and that's how you figured out this was like this is a really cool medium? I really want to fuck around with this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, when I went to school, I went for painting. And the good thing about SAIC is that they're very interdisciplinary, which is, I think, pretty rare for an art school. Most of the time, they're like, okay, if you're gonna go into painting, you go into painting. And it's like, you don't take many other classes. Um, but at my school, it was like, as long as you take this number of studio credits, doesn't matter what department you graduate. So my first semester, I took a painting class and I hated it. I don't know if it was the teacher or maybe I just didn't like sitting in the studio and like staring at fruit and painting it, but I was like, this is awful. So then I like tried photography, and then I eventually screen printing, and I was like, oh my God, I love this so much because it
Mm-hmm.
was like a very methodical process where you plan everything and then you expose the screen and then you print layer by layer.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like my first project that I did ever, I like just printed for like 13 hours straight and then I was done. And I was like, oh my God, this is like not only very time consuming, but like very tiring, but it was like so rewarding, I
Right.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That
and
experience
then
feels
it,
like
yeah.
you're in the lab. If for making, the equivalent would be like you're in the lab editing a movie. That'll take like
Mhm.
20 hours, and then you leave, and then there's birds chirping. It's the morning, and you're like, oh no, I fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I've definitely done that before.
But yeah, you
Um,
were in the zone, as XL7 Gamer would say. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Um, and so I guess another reason I did enjoy Scratch was because I guess it was like my first introduction to an art form that felt slightly more marketable than I guess what I was used to, which was drawing. It's like, if you
Hmm.
sell one painting, you're gonna price it for like at least a few $100s. Um, and it's like this unique work that like once it's gone, it's gone. But with printmaking, it's like you have multiple, more or less exact copies because of the nature of the process.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Marketability, accessibility, just making it easier for people
Yeah.
to buy your
Mhm.
art too. I think it's another thing
Yes.
as well. And I noticed that, even on Twitch, it's just like most of the people that do follow me are artists themselves and aren't making a lot of money. So it's like I want to support your art, but how can I do that without? Be like, just watch my Twitch streams,
Yeah.
and just get the word out. Sharing some links, following me on Instagram, which you can follow Lang on Instagram. You put an exclamation point Lang into the chat. Anybody who here who isn't already following Lang. Um, Barra, would you do me a big quick favor and do exclamation point shout out and then do fake art prodigy, all one word? That way you can also get a link to follow Lang on Twitch. Let's talk about Valorant. When did you start playing Valorant?
Mm. Last summer,
Mm.
and before that, the first FPS game that I did played pretty much ever was Apex Legends. And before that, I think I had played like 5 games of Counter-Strike Source, which is like the old version of CS:GO.
Hmm.
Um, and that was like when I was 11, so I don't really count that. But I played. I don't know. I sucked at both of them. I hated both of them when I first started them. So it's really funny that I spent so much time playing Valorant now.
I mean, there's something about the aesthetics of that game that make it like really pleasing. I only know about it from my friends who get tilted every single time.
Hmm.
You got a party of five, and it's like, I don't know what the score is, maybe 2-12, because it's like 13 it is to finish a round,
Yeah.
and they're just
Yep.
like, do we rage quit? Be like, no, we finish it to the end.
Ugh.
Everyone's saying don't play League of Legends. It's objectively the wrong move, but play League.
I have refused to play League for as long as I can remember.
Well, this is cool. Your gaming roots go deep. You said 11 years old when you started playing that. When did you start playing games in general?
uh, I guess 11. I guess my dad plays a lot of games. And so he was sort of like my introduction to gaming, I guess. But we didn't have like a console, so it was more like me watching him play on his PC,
Okay.
and it's not like I could really join. And also, he mostly played like solo games, anyways. So,
Okay.
um, and then I got a laptop, and then he was like, "You should play Counter Strike with me," and I was like, "Okay,
Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah." And uh, well, obviously, he was a lot better than me, and he would like rub it in my face, and I was like, I don't know if I'm having that much fun, Dad. So I eventually moved on to Minecraft, which was more my speed. But I would only play creative mode, and I would just build like lots of like nice houses,
Mm.
pretty things, and all that stuff. Um, and so and then I guess I was addicted to Minecraft for a while. And then when I got into high school, I was like, holy shit, like, oh, GPA, rank, like all that stuff. And so
Mm.
I basically completely stopped playing any games. And high school was like overall just an awful time for me.
Mm.
Um,
Was that in Texas?
because, yes,
Okay.
yes. Um, I think I just felt a lot of pressure to do well, and it wasn't even from like anybody. It was just like from myself. I was like as soon as I had learned about the concept of a GPA and the ranking system, I was like, oh my god, I have to do well, or it's like the end of the world. and that like consumed 4+ years of my life, I guess. I think the residual stress was there for a while.
Right. Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was just like overall a bad time. And then uh, I started Apex, I guess 2 years ago, last year.
As a
I don't
coping
remember anymore.
mechanism.
Yeah, yeah. And then all it did was make me upset
Oh no.
because I sucked. Like none of the skill that I had when I was 11 was there.
Mm.
Like as little as there was, I probably at least knew how to do a little bit. So it was just gone, and so I had to like relearn everything. And I don't know if you've ever played Apex before, have you?
I've only watched streams.
It's it's very complicated, I guess, especially to someone who hadn't played FPS games before, because I think CS Source was very rudimentary, like very basic, like you buy this at the beginning and you go.
Mm.
So like having to deal with a bunch of people who have different abilities that you have to learn how to counter. Plus, you have to get a shield. Plus, you have to. There's like 5 different types of guns that you have to remember. And if
Right.
you pick up the wrong ammo, it doesn't work for that gun. So I was like, oh my God. Like, I picked up this ammo. It doesn't work for this gun. I'm so upset.
11-year-old Lang watching you play Apex. Pathetic. That's a real thought too. But I started thinking about my own personal journey with video games and how I never really made
Mm-hmm.
decisions for myself when it came to video games. In that, I had to play what everyone else was playing. Um,
Oh, right.
it's like when I think my first big console was the Xbox 360, and I only got that because everyone was playing Halo 2, Halo 3, and so, and I wasn't particularly good at that, but I loved hanging out with my friends and just thrashing them with
Yeah.
energy swords. And then I tried to, make it my thing over the years, maybe getting like Guitar Hero and all these different or all these different games. And,
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped it because, when you get into high school, you have like, oh, I have to make friends. I have to, I have to do extracurriculars. I have to make a
Yeah.
cool person for a college to accept and also people to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like the meta-ness started coming out where it's just like you need to be a quote unquote better person. um, but I feel like, becoming myself, getting a little bit more authentic to who I want to be and not what everyone else wants to be. I feel like I got into what games were for me originally, and it was like it was an escape, but it was also a place for me to be myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm way in the thick of it now, and that's partially due to Twitch streaming, but also due to, I guess, like the nostalgia I'm feeling when I pick up like
Yeah.
a PSP or a 3DS.
Yeah. You're definitely spot on about like play games. Uh, League, for example, everyone bothering me to play League. But yeah, that is definitely true. I guess for me, I never experienced that as a kid because, well, I guess now we can talk about, the sort of like stereotypes against girls in the gaming industry,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of like that like unspoken barrier, and that a lot of girls who play games start at like a later age
Right.
because of like how they're raised. Usually, like parents will be like, "Oh, you shouldn't play games. Games are for boys." Um, that's how my mom was as well.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was like, "Whatever, just let her do whatever she wants." Um, but it was like, I don't know. It was and is very stressful to play any sort of game that requires vocal communication. Like in Valorant, I have had several experiences where I am either too afraid to say something
Mm-hmm.
through like vocal comms, or I do say something and then they're like, "Ooh, a girl," and then they actually like either start sexually harassing me or just like being overall more toxic about the way that I play.
Right.
And it's like definitely a barrier in that it's like I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to think of, but it's like on one hand, uh, if a girl sucks at gaming, it's like, well, yeah, like she probably started like a year ago, whereas you have had a controller in your since you were like 5.
Right.
Um, so that's like one aspect of it, but the other aspect is like, uh, if a girl is good, it's like, oh, you're getting boosted, or it's like a very rare sort of experience, and then people are toxic anyways. So it's just like
Sure.
very much unfortunate, no matter how well you play, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's I have no interest to get into the psychology of why, you know, these gamers are just so misogynistic, racist, and it always has to go back to their masculinity and how feeling like they're
Mm,
emasculated by any sort of
mm-hmm,
person who could be better than them regardless of race
mm-hmm.
or gender. And it's just like, okay, it's a girl and a girl does better than me. I have to bring them down a peg. I have to make sure that they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make sure that their self confidence is like to a absolute zero, even though their gaming is like way high. you know,
Yeah.
but like even when
Yeah.
you're with your friends, you've got that one friend that you need to pull up. This one
Mm-hmm.
person who's just like, okay, yeah, we play with him because he's fun and he's funny on the comms, but he's actually sucks with whoever he
Yeah.
mains. But then you've got a person who's on your team who's doing really well. Wouldn't you be like, okay, let's follow this person? No, let's make them feel bad. No, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just like so that's why I have no interest in getting one like participating in those games with like on my own. Sure, if friends
Mm-hmm.
want me to play with them because I was playing Valorant for a little bit too with some friends and it was really cool. But they were getting serious about it. They wanted to get ranked. They wanted
Mm.
to get like what's after like silver or gold. I think it's like
Uh,
crystals and
it's
stuff like
like
that, right? Platinum,
platinum
yeah.
and diamond.
hmm And I was just like, yeah, I'm not going for this, man. I'm going for I'm going for hard mode in Horizon Zero Dawn because that's my thing. I guess like I, do you have fun with RPGs at all? I mean, I feel like RPGs are my jam now.
I don't think I play a lot of RPGs. That's like not something I've gotten the chance to get into, if that makes.
hmm And so I assume that you never played like any like tabletop RPGs or like D&D or any of those sort of things.
Uh, we we as in my friend group started D&D like very recently, like this past semester, I guess, of school. So like
hmm
starting in like just something like that. Um, but we're all very new to it, so it's not like there's anybody experienced being like, yeah, 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 you do this. It was all like
Sure.
us like looking at our character sheets together, like, what the hell? But yeah, that's like that was my first introduction, I guess. Beyond that, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, well, I always felt like TTRPGs, even though I'm very new to it, is like a blueprint for gamers to experience improv, which like I'm more
Mhm.
experienced in. I took classes at IO, did some improv here in the like north side of Chicago. Never really made a name for myself, but it was more of just like I don't know if I could really find my niche here. But I think I found my niche in gaming, and I found my niche on Twitch, and so um, that's where my interests are lying right now. But
Mhm.
I'd love to learn a little bit more about some of your interests outside of art. Although art is such a broad spectrum, um, where do you find inspiration? Outside of this sort of mediums that you do, printmaking and painting and stuff like that.
Do you mean like just like throughout daily life, like what I
Yeah, like
find
you got your
inspiration in?
Spotify playlists. Is there like are you a part of the No Name Book Club? Like, what are some of the things? What's like in your streaming queue? Like, what are you watching nowadays and stuff like that?
Oh, this okay. About watching streams. I am so bad about watching other people's streams. Like I tried to do that towards like the beginning, and then like everybody that I watched just like stopped streaming. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what to do now. But it's just like it's so strange, I guess, to me, and I don't know what to do about it. But I feel like it's very strange that I stream myself and yet I don't watch other people stream.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I need to get better about that because I think, like, first of all, I think Twitch is very community based,
Hmm.
especially when you're a smaller streamer. Like, being able to connect with other streamers is actually how I got a lot of my current viewers. Um, and so I need to, like, figure out how to do that. But also, I just think, like, I can learn a lot from other people who are streaming, um, like, about, like, how to improve my own stream and all that stuff. So yeah, I just need to get on that. I
And I
don't
know
know, but
everyone really
like,
likes the webcam that Lang's using right now, but there might be an upgrade coming soon because someone just realized they can use their DSLR as a webcam.
yeah, yeah. If I have the right cable,
I'm
which
sure you
I
do.
might, I might.
I can
Yeah,
give you.
yeah.
I have several of those cables. I can give you a cable.
Oh wow! Oh, cool, cool, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, just come into TJ's.
Yeah. Um, but I guess I prefer watching like YouTube videos
Okay.
and like I don't know, I think that's why in the beginning I was thinking more about making YouTube videos than streaming Twitch. But I just find like I don't know, it's like on Twitch, it's like the Wild West. Like you go into a stream and like they could be streaming in a category, but beyond that, it's like you don't know what to expect, and like things
Hmm.
can flip in a second. Uh, or at least it does in my stream. Like I'll be like talking to people, and then suddenly someone will be like, "Hey, get on Valorant," and I'll be like, "Okay, we're switching this stream to Valorant." um, but with a YouTube video, it's like highly edited. It's like if you go into this video, you know what you're getting, and then you watch it, and you're like, "Cool," and
Hmm.
that's it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
that's I guess why I find it more, I guess it's easier to hold my attention with a YouTube video. Um, Also because it's like if a streamer will post on YouTube, it's usually their highlight reel. So
right.
it's like none of the like downtime in between where it's just like nothing is happening. But it's like, oh, only the cool stuff is happening. So it's like nice.
Right.
Which I feel bad about saying because then when you think about it, it's like when I look at my own stream, I'm like, man, I don't know if I would watch that because it's like sometimes it's
Yeah.
like
That's an
dead
interesting
and it's
thing.
like
Hmm.
yeah, because like for example, if I'm playing Valorant, uh, like nothing will be happening in chat because obviously half of the people in my chat don't even play Valorant, so I don't expect them to be like, oh yeah, nice. But there's that, and then it's like nothing interesting is happening in game either because we're just losing terribly, or it's just like nothing interesting in general. So it's like, oh, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch this.
I I wish I could. I wish I could have your mind where I'm not self conscious about that because I feel like that's always in my head while I'm doing the stream itself. You know, because I was
Mm.
playing Wind Waker on Tuesday, and there's a lot of sailing in the game, and the game literally had me sailing for a good 45 minutes. So I was just like, okay, so
Ooh.
there's just a bunch of like dead air right now, and sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
music isn't even playing. So I just like was like fiddling on my guitar, going from island to island, and then I'm paying attention to the game and be like, oh shit, I'm getting wrecked right now by some seagulls hitting me on my boat. But I mean, that's such a true thought, where it's like, yeah, stopping into other people's streams and being like, this is such a great vibe. Like, you could do whatever you want, and I would totally follow you through for it. And not thinking for myself that that's necessarily true for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Because I always
Yeah.
feel like whenever I'm making my schedule, whenever I'm in the stream itself, I always have to ask permission for the people that are watching. Yo, Shane, thanks for the sub. um, like, what do you all want to see? And I feel like I don't get enough feedback about that, but I think like a lot of people who do watch and be like, yo, we like you, we love you, like, stop worrying about it, you could do whatever you want, well, like, we'll be here, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
viewership won't count, but like, we'll leave you a lurk and we'll stop by whenever we have a moment. So it's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, I always have to remember people have their own lives, they could be doing better shit than
Yeah.
hanging out with me. But I'm always grateful, and I'm particularly grateful to the 13 people watching us right now, and Lang, of course, for you for joining me today. Um, are there aspirations for the Twitch stream, for yourself as an artist, that you're hoping to accomplish either within the year or within a couple of months?
Great question. I can answer the question about improving my stream more easily than I can about my art practice and myself. So I'll go with that first. Um, in terms of improving my stream, obviously a better webcam. Try try and figure out the DSLR stuff. Um, but there's this thing that I did recently where I had to install a bunch of plugins, which means I had to switch my entire stream setup from using Streamlabs to just OBS,
Hmm.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
less
the OBS,
CPU.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that allows for plugins. And then I've added a bunch of new like in the channel point redemptions,
Hmm.
like before I just had some basic ones like drink, water, and stuff like that. But more recently I added stuff that would be like a special effect on stream where it would like switch to like uh
It would change
it's
the
from
layout of everything,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
it'd be a visual
Well,
effect.
not the layout. It's more like a funny thing.
Okay.
Where it's like it'll freeze frame and then I'll say we'll be right back, and then the music will play. It'll be like da 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 da, and it'll just be like a funny way to interrupt me in the middle of the stream. Um, and uh, uh, and then also just some where it'll just play a sound with no visual effects. Um, but yeah, it'll sort of be uh, I guess a more interesting way for chat to interact with my stream directly in a way that doesn't require me to do anything first.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to Poison Drake for not having that sound alert on. I just wanted the interview to go smoothly and not get spooked by any of the sound alerts that happen. So my apologies on that. I'll be sure to add it next time. That's what people want to do. But um, nice try. um, and then in terms of your art, I'm so impressed about the avenues that people have to purchase your art. The clothing that you have available through Threadless is just
um,
like, that's awesome. I mean, that's
yeah,
cool that you
yeah,
can artists do that? Is that like a Society 6 thing where you can throw up any of your prints and then they can throw that on t-shirts
yeah,
for you?
yeah. So it's more limited than obviously printing shirts yourself. I think you can only print on one side of a shirt. And then
Hmm.
in terms of the design, you can't like expand it to like the full shirt. It's just
Oh, I
gonna
see.
be like in the center. But if you can work with those limitations, I think that Threadless is like a super cool company to work with that I would recommend for any artist who wants like a low effort, I guess, merch shop. Because what you do is you just upload a really high res file and that's it. So they launched this a while ago, and I believe I was one of the first people to uh, to take advantage of it. Not to brag, but the it's called Artist Shop, and I don't know what the process is because I did it so long ago. But you just sign up for a shop and you sign up for like a URL, and then you upload a design, and then within the design you can choose whether or not you want to sell it on a shirt, or I think they've added a lot of new stuff like tote bags, shower curtain, skateboards. So
What?
like it's like super super cool. Um I was actually thinking about just like putting one cool design on the website just so I could buy myself a skateboard.
I would do the same. I would
Um
do the exact same thing.
yeah, yeah. So it's like it's a super cool website, and then like once that's done, the way that the pricing works is that they have a base price that you have to price it at, and that's like to cover the production costs and all that stuff. And then you can add on top of that, and then whatever you add on top is how much profit you make per thing that is bought. Um, and then from there on, it's like pretty hands off. You just sort of receive the revenue and they handle all of the printing and shipping and all that stuff. So,
Great.
yeah. any artists want to use that, it's threadless artist shops. Very cool.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm hoping the best for you, and I hope you're getting a lot of sales on that. Again, if you want to follow and buy any of Lang Chen's art, go ahead and put !Lang. You get all the links that you need there. You can follow her on Twitch. You can follow her on Instagram, on Twitter. Are you active on Twitter? I feel like Twitter always gets the sideline on my thing. I always use it for just
Yeah.
venting.
For me, I like never tweet about my own stuff, or like I don't even tweet about like my own streams. For the most part, I look at funny tweets and I'm like, nice, and then I retweet them.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
a
So
retweet dump.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how to use it in conjunction with like Twitch streaming and stuff. It's
Right.
not like okay. I can tweet like every time I go live for my 3 followers. I don't know.
What do you think very visually? It's like adding it's like Instagram without the photo. It's just the captions.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess I could. I don't know. That's the only way I've currently thought of like how to effectively use my Twitter for something other than retweeting funny things.
So what's the rest of your day looking like? Are you going to be streaming today?
Yeah. So the past like 3 weeks, I've been streaming nearly every day. And I've been trying to experiment with like streaming at different times so that I can figure out a new schedule
Hmm.
where it's like, oh, figuring out like optimal times that work with my personal schedule as well as like, the stats of like highest number of viewers and stuff like that. Um, but I I've figured out by now that I am so bad at waking up early. Waking up for this interview was so for the
You did
most
really
part I
well. I think
stream.
I
Thank
messaged you at
you.
like 9:30, um,
Yeah,
and it was like
and I
five
woke up
minutes
at
until a
10.
response. So I was just like, oh, great, yeah, we're gonna be good.
Yeah. But for the most part, I stream in the evenings around like starting around like 6 to 7 p.m.
Mhm.
Central Time. Um, so I will eventually cut back down on streaming every day because I think I need some me time as well.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, but then yeah. So I am streaming tonight. I'll be streaming tomorrow night. I'll be streaming the next night probably. Yeah.
Amazing.
Figure out a schedule.
Do you know? I mean, it's always a mix up about what happens on stream. It says you were doing just chatting last time. Were you watching TikToks the last time, like the last time I came onto your stream?
Yeah, one of my viewers, her name is P Queen, or their name, I don't know. I asked if they were a girl. It was very confusing. But they keep sending like 5 bajillion TikToks a day, and it's like it's like just for me to watch. It's not even like they want other people to see it. They just want to see my reaction. So it's like, okay, all right, P
Oh, you
Queen,
have to
I will,
do a
I will.
live TikTok stream in reaction to
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's Pequing's TikTok hour.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what
So
you can expect from Ling's streams tonight. Maybe some Valorant, maybe some TikToks. When can we expect some art on this stream? Do some live
ah!
printmaking. I did some printmaking on the stream, and I think I need to do an accountability stream so that people know that I'm actually
Mhm.
doing it. Because
Yeah.
I think it was like a subathon, and I promised a lot of people some screen prints, which I have not done yet. Um, so I got to get to that. I used to do emulsion, photo emulsion, but now I'm just doing,
Yeah.
um, stencils, putting duct tape on them, and then cutting them
Mhm.
out with an X-Acto knife, and that works out fine for me.
That's good because I've been trying to figure out a way to screen print once I've basically lost access to all of the studio stuff at my school, which includes like their nice exposure table and all that stuff. So
Mm.
I definitely need to figure that out. Um, in terms of doing art on stream, I did screen printing on my stream a little while ago. It was the most chaotic thing ever. I did it on the floor, and my webcam was just like askew at an angle to be able to see the prints and stuff. It was just really bad. Um, so I guess that is something I have to think about because before, whenever I stream art, Twitch, I almost said TikTok. Whenever I stream art on Twitch, it would be for like a school project. Obviously, I don't have those, so to like discipline myself to
Mm-hmm.
do projects myself.
Yeah, maybe
Uh,
it can be commissions. And
yeah, yeah,
commissions are open, are they not? For you?
yes, yes, they are. For the most
Commissions
part,
are
they
open.
always are.
Well, there you go. Lang, thank you so much for coming on to the show, for conversing with me. We met at Trader Joe's. I really liked your bag. What was on the tote bag again?
It's actually on my website. It says "I will be okay" a bunch of times to like mimic the thank you bags,
Mm-hmm.
and then where it says, I don't remember what it says on the thank you bag, but it's like
I think we got it
thank
over
you, thank you,
here.
thank you, and then a little bit of text, and so it's like "I will be okay," and so will you, and then the tiny text at the bottom, which is normally for like how you recycle the bag. It
Mm-hmm.
says everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.
I love that. It's available for $20 USD, and it makes great friendships.
Yes,
There you
yes.
go.
At Trader Joe's,
At Trader Joe's. Um,
witnessing me buy like 5 frozen boxes of food.
yeah, you deserved a round of applause because honestly, no one has that much self control in Trader Joe's.
Wow, thank you. I was worried that like walking every time I walk up to the cash register in Trader Joe's, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna look at this and they're gonna judge me.
Absolutely not. No, we're only thinking about going home.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, of course. Lang, you are always welcome to come on to the stream anytime you'd like. Just let me know. We can have a conversation. Maybe we can play a game together or do something. But
Yeah.
it's such a pleasure having you. Your community seems like such a great group of people, and I hope to hang
Oh,
out with them soon. Okay. Um,
yeah.
have a great day. I'm just gonna give a
Thank you.
little words about shows that are coming up in my intro. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all right, talk to you soon. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Have a great one. Bye.
Thank you, you too.
All right, everyone. That was another installment of Braving New Worlds. We're going to be live again on 10 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, and I'm inviting musician Wilhelmina Mercy onto the stream, also known as Will Wisp on Twitch. They are a bedroom pop musician, a hilarious streamer, and hopefully we'll get some live music out of them as well. My name is Courtney Love. I'm a variety streamer. When you're not seeing me interview creatives, I'm also playing video games. Right now, we're playing Wind Waker every single week. And we're getting pretty close to that being done. I think we got 2 streams left of that. Um, I'm going to try to find some time to hang out with some streamers that are here in Chicago to visiting. And maybe we got some content coming up for you for that. But until then, I'll see you Saturday for another episode of Braving New Worlds. Thank you so much. Is that Grogu? It is. Where are you, baby? Where's Grogu? I don't know why it zoomed in like that. Oh, it's because Lang left the chat. That's why. Where did I put him? Where are you? I have no idea where he went. How are you even seeing him? That's the funny question. Um. Anyhow, have have a great time, everybody. I'll see you at another time. Oh, raid is a good call. That's a great call. And I found Groku. Oh my god, that's so scary. Oh no! No! There you go. Say something. Say something, everybody. Grogu. Come on, you think I expected I knew how to I was gonna raid somebody? I'm all a mess. I'm a huge mess right now. Who's online? Tell me who I should raid. Who should I raid? I give you the power. Make it a wholesome stream. Jimmy and Ken? Oh, Jimmy and Ken. Okay. Jimmy's playing Genshin, right? Let's go ahead and raid Jimmy. We haven't raided Jimmy in a long time. Jimmy Lee Sprinkles. Jimmy Lee Sprinkles is the best streamer playing Genshin Impact. All right. You want a raid message? Fine. I'll give you a raid message. Oh, thank you. I'll use those emotes. All right. There we go. Also, if you all were sticking around for the show, you should have enough points, channel points, aka hops, to redeem some of my emotes, which you'll see right here in the raid message. Just forget the first San Fantana raid. The second one's the one you want to do. Start with the emotes and then copy and paste from there, right? Have a good day, everybody. Thanks so much for being here.